Pergear 50mm f1.8 for the Fuji system. This is my stills only review of this lens after a few weeks of owning it. So let's get right to it. If you watch my review of the 25mm Pergear, there's going to be a lot of repeat information and repeating statements because they're both Pergear lenses. They're both great values for the money, and I've shot a lot of the similar subject with them both, but I wanted to separate the reviews because I wanted the photo samples to be isolated. So every photo sample you watch in the other videos from the appropriate 25mm, every photo sample in this video, of course, is from this lens. And just like with the 25, I'll post a blog post with photo samples that you can click on and take your time looking at, as opposed to just having them pass by every few seconds in this video. So let's get started with this review. The price of this 50mm Pergear lens is right now about $65 brand new on eBay or $80 brand new on Amazon. So slightly more than the 25, but not much. Again, this is a stills only review. I'll do a video related review later. I wanted to see how this performed with stills first. Let's reverse the pros and cons with the 25mm video. I'll start with the cons first. There's not many, just like with the 25, especially at this price. The clickless aperture is a con in terms of photography because I just would prefer to have clicks when shooting stills. When shooting stills, my eye oftentimes is more glued to the viewfinder than maybe when I'm shooting video and I'm looking at the screen. My face is a little more away from the camera more constantly, so I could see what the settings are. And for video, clickless is a benefit. If you want to change while shooting, you don't have to worry about that. For stills, I prefer to have clicks, so that's a small negative. Just like with the 25, the direction of which the focusing ring and aperture ring adjust are in reverse order compared to the X series lenses, the XF lenses, the lenses that Fuji puts out. So, for example, all the way turned right on a Fuji would be f16 or f22 would be closed down, and all the way this way would be opened up. And so the direction of everything is reversed for comparative Fuji lenses. So that slows you down a little bit, because if you have a Fujifilm lens on your camera constantly and you're used to just switching things really, really quick, and then you throw a lens like this on there, it's going to be reversed. That adjustment that your muscle memory does, it's not going to work the same way. So it's going to slow you down a little bit. So anything that slows you down can be a negative. This is not a huge deal. As soon as you start turning it, you'll remember, oh yeah, I have a Pergear lens on, it's reverse, and you'll adjust. But I have to list it as one of the cons because it is. Okay, so let's go to the pros. First off, just like with the other one, the build quality is awesome. The build quality is awesome for a $200 lens. For an $80 lens, it's kind of surprising, to be honest. Like I still don't understand how they're able to make all this for $80. Pretty much all metal. So yeah, the build quality is a huge positive. And that's one of the things that made me excited about purchasing it. I mean, if it had if it had really good image quality at $80, I would have probably bought it anyways. But the fact that it has good image quality and it's built so well was a big deal to me. The design. This has a really cool design. I like this design better than the 25, even though the 25 is smaller. Just this design is just really, really cool. The focusing ring is big enough, and you probably, I'll talk more about this in the video review, but you probably could have put a follow focus on this lens pretty easily. The aperture ring is nice, designed nice, and has nice grips. They both have nice grips on them, so it makes it easy to turn. They turn pretty smooth. When I first opened this one, this turned a little rough, but it's smoothed out now, and it's really, really nice. The focusing ring has stops, hard stops on each end, which is super nice. Well, really, really good benefit. One of the things I like about manual focus lenses. Yeah, so before I leave the design subject, one of the cool things is that has a Leica vibe to it with the lens hood on. It feels like an M mount lens. It's no secret that design is a big deal to me when it comes to cameras, and so I like that. I like that tribute to those kinds of lenses, that tribute to those M mount lenses that this has. So while I'm talking about the rest of the pros, I'll throw this on the XT1 so you can see how it looks on a camera. So this is how it looks on my XT1 as I'm talking about the other pros. Just like with the 25, it's a good performer all around in terms of image quality. I can't point out any specific area where it falls short on a big level. If I were to do a comparison video with this and the XF series of lenses from Fuji, I'm sure I could point out areas where it's not as sharp. I'm sure I can point out areas where it's not as saturated or the colors don't pop or where it has less micro contrast here and there. I would assume there's a lot of those areas where this is going to fall short. I'm just assuming. I haven't done those comparisons. What I have done is gone out and shoot and captured what I think are cool images, which I'll show in this video, and I'll also post in the blog post. And after shooting with it a while, I realized that this can help me achieve what I want to achieve when I go out and shoot. This just delivers in a general way. And at $80, it really packs a big punch for that amount. Just like with the 25, some of the specific things I was happy about and surprised about was the lack of chromatic aberration and fringing. Shooting in the midday with harsh light is something I do often just because I live in Las Vegas and it's like sunny like 340 days out of the year. So unless I get up early or go out in the evening, I'm usually left with some pretty harsh sunlight, and I just make do. You figure out cool photographic opportunities with that light. That being said, if a lens is going to have a tendency to have fringing or chromatic aberration, I'm going to find it right away with having some bright blue sky contrasted with some trees or even a building and whatnot. And I really had to search for situations where this happened with this lens. So I was very impressed that I could feel pretty confident that won't be a huge issue with this lens. I showed you the lens hood. I mean, just like with the 25, it comes with this lens hood, and they both have the same. This and the 25 both have the same filter ring size, so they can share lens hoods and filters and whatnot, even though they both come with their own lens hood. So that's what it looks like with the lens hood on. Not as compact as the 25, but still pretty compact. And like I said, it has a Leica vibe to it with that lens hood on there. Yeah, I said this video was going to be a lot like the 25mm. I feel like they are identical in terms of things they talked about, but that's because they're both Pergear lenses. They both share some of the same benefits. They look completely different in terms of design. I mean, that's one thing where they do not share similarities. I mean, really, there's really, other than the fact that the numbers and the labeling on there are the same, and the caps and the lens hoods are the same. If you just took the lenses themselves, they look completely different. But the build quality is consistent. The image quality is fairly consistent. They both deliver well on that price. And I think this is a great option for any Fujifilm owner or anyone who has a camera that these Pergear lenses are compatible with. They sell them for other mounts. Since this is a 50mm, it's not going to be the first one I choose to go street photography shooting with. I'm going to reach for slightly wider, 35, the 25, or the 16 that I have. So I will take this out on occasion. Sometimes there are some compositions and things that I feel more comfortable using a slightly longer lens on. This should be a great portrait lens, a great budget portrait lens, I should say. So for anyone who has a kit lens or who has no lens and you need a first prime lens and you have the hopes of shooting portraits, this is a great option, man. I mean, this is a 50mm that puts you right within that portraiture range. Usually portrait shots are shot at 50 or longer. Obviously they don't have to be. I've seen some amazing portrait shots at wider focal lengths. But this is a great option for portrait photographers, a great option for anyone who needs a first prime lens, anyone who wants to dip their toes into the Fuji system, who just bought a cheap camera like this setup and needs a lens option. These lenses are great deals. So just like with the 25mm lens review, I will continue shooting with this and follow up and show you more samples, talk about it some more, maybe give you a follow-up on its long-term quality. I mean, there's only so much I can learn about a lens in 2 weeks, but I feel I've done enough to be able to talk about it and be able to confidently recommend it for the price. If you do decide to buy it, I do have an affiliate link in the description. And that does help out the channel. If you already own it, let me know what you think of it. Do you feel the same way about it? Do you like it? What do you wish would be different if they come out with a new model? So that's it for now. I will do a video and filmmaking review of these lenses separately. So watch out for that. Subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified when more videos are uploaded. And I appreciate all the feedback and the subscribers I have so far. It's so awesome. I look forward to discussing more photography and filmmaking stuff with you. Talk to you soon.